When you hear the word angel, what image instantly appears in your mind? A beautiful woman dressed in glowing white robes, soft feathered wings spreading behind her head, a golden halo floating peacefully above her head. Or maybe one of those tiny baby angels from Valentine's Day cards, holding little bows and arrows. Peaceful, gentle, pure, comforting. That's the image modern movies, cartoons, paintings, books, and social media have built inside our minds for decades. Angels are usually shown as beautiful protectors, heavenly beings meant to make humans feel safe. But what if I told you the angels described in the Bible looked nothing like that? Because biblically accurate angels were absolutely terrifying. Not a little creepy. Not slightly strange. I'm talking about being so unnatural, so overwhelming, and so impossible to understand.
Interesting is that when you look at the
Most people
creature
saw one
from the
standing
sky,
in front of them today, they probably wouldn't even call it an angel. They'd call it a monster. Or maybe something far beyond human understanding. And the deeper you go into ancient scripture, the stranger things become. Because according to the Bible, angels were never simply humans with wings. Different forms, different purposes, different levels of power. Some acted as messengers between God and humanity. Some guarded sacred places. Some carried divine judgment. And others existed so close to the presence of God, their appearance became almost impossible for the human mind. One of the most famous angelic beings mentioned in Scripture is called the Cherubim. Now, today, when people hear the word cherub, they'll usually imagine a cute little baby angel floating in the clouds. But the original biblical description? Completely different. The cherubim were described as beings with 4 different faces.
One human face, one lion's face, one ox, and one eagle. Imagine standing in front of something like that. A creature staring in every direction at once. A being that completely breaks the normal rules of biology, nature, and reality itself. Not the strangest part. These beings also had multiple wings and glowing supernatural forms. Some descriptions mention legs shining like polished bronze and feet resembling the hooves of a calf. Others describe movements so unnatural they appeared to move without even turning, almost like reality itself bent around them. Now stop for a second and think carefully about this. Why would divine beings look like a combination of humans and animals? Why create something so bizarre? Well, many historians and scholars believe ancient civilizations often used hybrid creatures to symbolize power beyond nature.
A being that combines multiple creatures represents abilities beyond ordinary life. Strength, wisdom, speed, authority, power. And this idea wasn't limited to the Bible alone. In ancient Mesopotamian civilizations, creatures like the
And a profile
Lamassu,
view.
Well, if you count
giant
up the number of
winged
legs, there's
beings
one
with
too many.
human
There are
heads
5.
and
Right,
animal
2
bodies,
from the front
were
and
placed
4 from the
outside
side, but of
temples
course
and palaces
one of the front
as
legs overlaps,
supernatural
so
guardians.
there are 5 legs.
What's
In
interesting
Egyptian
is that when you
mythology,
look at the creature
gods
from
were
the
often
side,
shown with
you actually
animal
see that it's
heads to
moving
represent
forward. But when you
divine
look at it from the
qualities.
front, those 2
Even in
legs are
Hindu mythology, we see
ఒక
terrifying
ఉగ్రగర్జన
hybrid forms
దిక్కులన్నీ
connected to
దద్దరిల్లాయి
divine power.
లోకాల మధ్య సంభ్రమం తలెత్తింది
Narasimha, one of Lord
స్తంభం
Vishnu's most
చీలింది
feared
నడిమి
avatars,
చీకటిలో నుంచి
appears
ఉగ్రుడుపుడు
as a
నరసింహుడు
half-man,
ఉరుములా
half-lion,
బయలుదేరాడు
created specifically to destroy evil and restore balance. And what's fascinating is this. These divine forms were never designed to look normal. They were designed to feel overwhelming, fear-inducing, impossible. Because ancient culture something that instantly reminds humans, you are standing before a power far greater than yourself. And honestly, that idea explains a lot about biblical angels too. Because the higher you go,
Their name literally means the burning ones. These beings are described as fiery heavenly creatures with 6 massive wings. 2 wings covering their faces, 2 covering their feet, and 2 used for flying. Imagine witnessing something like that descending from the heavens. A burning creature surrounded by light and fire, wings stretching across the sky, speaking with a voice powerful enough to shake reality itself. That doesn't sound comforting. That sounds absolutely terrifying. And yet, according to Scripture, these beings existed in the direct presence of God. Which raises another fascinating question. Maybe angels were never supposed to comfort humans. Maybe their purpose was to represent the unimaginable power of the divine. But somehow, even the Seraphim are not the strangest angels mentioned in the Bible. Because then we arrive at the Ophanim. This is where things become truly sobering. The Ophanim are described as gigantic rotating monuments filled with eyes. Not just a few eyes. Hundreds of eyes. Not from ancient scripture. And this is exactly why biblically accurate angels became such a massive topic online. Because people were shocked to discover that the Bible's descriptions sounded more like interdimensional entities than beautiful humans with wings. Now imagine this scene. You see a massive glowing wheel rotating in the heavens, covered in countless blinking eyes staring directly at you. You'd probably think the world was ending. And maybe that was the point. Because angels were never meant to look harmless.